Now we'll see getter and setter methods. So to understand getter and setter methods, we'll see the concept of encapsulation. Encapsulation is, your class is an example of encapsulation. So wherein inside the class, the data members and the methods. Okay, so the data members plus the methods together comprises of your class. Okay, so this is nothing but encapsulation. Okay, so now to implement data hiding inside the class. Okay, how do you implement data hiding inside the class? To implement data hiding inside the class, you have to make the data members as a private. You won't be making all the data members private. You will be making only certain members as private. When you feel that these members cannot be accessed or should not be accessed by the outside code, then only you will be making them as private. Okay, so when you make the data members private, it means that these members cannot be accessed by the outside code. They will be available only within the class. So to access these data members, you need to have methods which are called as getter methods and setter methods. Okay, so by using only these getter methods and setter methods, we will be able to access the private members of the class. This is called as data hiding. Okay, so the getter methods will retrieve the data members. Okay, so the getter members are used to access. Okay, so they are also called as accessor methods. They are used to get the information. The setter methods are used to update the values of the private members. They are used to set and update the values. Okay, so they are called as, since there is some writing process happening, so they are called as mutator methods. So generally the getter and setter methods are declared as a public members because only through this the outside code can access the private members of the class. So we'll see this with an example. Say for example, I have a class which is student. So inside the student class, say there is one data field which is called as a marks of the student. So say I am having a data field which is marks. To access the marks or to set the marks, we need to have the getter and setter methods. So I am using a set method. So set methods are very easy to recognize because they use the word called set. So I am saying set marks, and this will be taking an argument wherein this will be marks. So the marks will be passed into this set marks, and here I am saying marks is equal to M. So the marks will be set, and the return type of this will be void because we are just updating it, or we are giving some marks, and we need to make them public. Okay, so this setter and getter methods are generally public. Okay, so such type of method is called as mutator method. Now we can also retrieve the information of marks by using a public method. So this is get method. So get method will return the marks. So it will be of the return type of the get method will be the same type as the data type of the private variable. So the return type will be int. Okay, and what is the name of the method? It is get marks, and there won't be any parameters inside it because it will just return the marks. So herein we are saying return marks. So by using the get method, we will be able to retrieve the marks, and by using set marks, we will be able to set the marks. So this is how the private members are accessed. Okay, who can use this set marks and get marks? Now, since I said that these methods, this set method or this get method can be used by the outside code, everybody cannot set the methods. Okay, so before setting the methods, you have to do certain validations. Okay, so the validations happen here. So maybe only the faculty can set, the concerned faculty will be setting the marks. Okay, so after the faculty's credentials are checked, then only the faculty can assign the marks for the student. Okay, so these methods are public, but they can be seen by the outside world, but to set the marks only the concerned person have to do that. So that you have to do before setting the marks. So the validations have to be done. And also to get the marks, who can see the marks? Everybody cannot see the marks of a student. Only the student can see, or the concerned class in charge can see the marks. Okay, so to get the marks also, to see the marks also, certain validations can be done. Okay, right. Another example can be your bank balance. Okay, so there can be a private variable. Okay, so private variable, private double. Okay, so balance, and this balance can be accessed by the methods which is set balance method and also get balance method. Okay, but not everybody can set the balance. Only the concerned person can actually update the balance. Okay, so before actually accessing this method, okay, so some validations have to be done, and everybody needn't get the balance of your account. Okay, so even for that some validations have to be done. Okay, so and then only these methods can be accessed. Okay, so because of this only, this is one of the drawback. Because of this validations and all that, to access a data member, it will take lot of time. Okay, so that is one of the drawback. And also for one variable, you are having a very lengthy code for accessing it and for setting and for getting. Okay, right. So as you can see, this entire class, student class, is encapsulation, and in encapsulation we are having data hiding plus abstraction. Okay, so we are not showing the implementation code to the user. So encapsulation is equal to, so we are having encapsulation is equal to data hiding plus abstraction. Okay, so that's what we have done over here. And not every data members should be private. You should decide, being programmer, you should decide which data member should be only read only or write only. That flexibility is there with the programmer. So in case if I don't want the user to set the marks, I can ignore this part and I can only make it read only. Okay, so I can just give the get marks. So then what happens is I am giving the permission to the user to read only. Okay, so that flexibility is there with the programmer. And what is the advantage of this? The advantage of this is security. So we are providing security to the data. Another kind of method which is called as abstract method. So I'll be discussing I'll be discussing about abstract methods when I discuss abstract classes concept. But to just understand what is meant by abstract methods, now these methods are the concrete methods. Why these methods are concrete methods is that because they are having implementation. Okay, so there is an open bracket and close bracket, and in between this there is implementation here. If a method is having the body or the implementation, such type of methods are called as concrete methods. And if a method is not having implementation, then such kind of methods, for example, I am saying void m1 and simply I am putting a semicolon over here, wherein the open bracket and close bracket is not there, implementation is not there. Such kind of methods are called as abstract methods. And you will see abstract methods inside your abstract classes. So you'll find them inside your abstract classes, and also you'll find them in interface. Okay, so I'll discuss abstract classes in the coming videos. So these are all the types of methods.